Welcome to Determined to Succeed. I'm your host, Dawn Mullarney, also known as the Unique Connector. So I'm so excited to have Ashley on the show today. So I want to kick it off of what's a networking concierge? Tell me more and
Just
how this came about.
Just a fancy word for somebody who goes out and talks to people. That's pretty much what it was. I Googled it.
I love it.
Thank you. So actually that title recently, I didn't tell you this beforehand, but that's getting trademarked. So I have it trademarked now because too many people that I've met, because you know those people. I do what you do. I do what you do. I like your title. Oh, maybe I'll take it. No, you won't, Brenda. Take it. Like, that's a thing I've had for 7 years. What are you talking about? So I finally spent the money. I'm like, I'm going to trademark this because it's all the Brendas out in the world who think that they know everything. So a networking concierge. So I network so you don't have to. So my job is I attend events on behalf of my clients. I train individuals on how to network effectively. I speak at conferences, and fun fact, I also teach at Temple University personal branding. So it's just a really cool way of saying I'm very tired. I'm tired all the time. And coffee is a life choice.
Oh, I love it so much. And so I love it because you focus on conferences more.
Very much like so. That. Yeah.
And why conferences? Tell me more.
So before the pandemic, it was events. So it was like local events, working with individuals one-on-one, working with teams, and then conferences shot back up in 2023. So conferences have been a fantastic way to really see the ROI when it comes to networking, because most people at conferences do not they never have goals. When I tell you, every conference I go to and I talk to people and I say, hey, what's your goal for being here? Like, I don't really know. My company just sent me out here and we're supposed to be at the table. And I'm like, I know how much it costs to get out here. And like, you don't have a plan. Like, what's the agenda here? And so that was my biggest pet peeve. And so I realized that there was a really big gap of planning when you go into the conference and like what the goals would be, not necessarily on a transactional thing, but getting some meetings and talking to some people. And so doing it in a way that you're not overcome with overstimulation from a lot of these events that you feel like you have to go to. So I found out when I went to these conferences and I got hired to attend, it was either I was working the table with people or training people how to do the table, or what I like to call the trifecta. The trifecta is when you've got people who are going to be at the booth. If you're a vendor, then you have the owner of the company who goes into the breakout sessions, and then you have me that goes into the vendors to build strategic partnerships with. So in order, that is the key there. That's the trifecta that I love. Then I also attend events on behalf of clients. So I'll go as a representation of them without being a vendor. So that allows me I need to have a plan of, I have 3 days to hit all of these KPIs that I put on myself. And how do I manage that? The number one thing I do is I look at the agenda and I look at the speakers, and based off of who we want to meet to either add to a podcast or get on a meeting with my employer, the goal is that I map it out so that way maybe I don't have to sit in the entire presentation for an hour, but I get the last 10 minutes. I'm the first person up there after they get off the stage to get the meeting. Booking them on a podcast is very easy, very, very easy. So that's hitting a KPI. Then attending the networking opportunities afterwards, but being able to have enough bandwidth or enough energy by the time I get to these networking events to then be able to sustain until 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. And then if we end up going out afterwards, not drinking, but maybe a dinner or something, or, I'm having a good conversation with somebody at the hotel bar, to be able to massively sustain that energy. So if I have a meeting, or if I have a person I'm talking to who's a speaker at 9 a.m. and then the next one's at 1, well, I'm going from 9 to 10:30, taking a break for an hour and then going back and meeting people in between. So there's a lot of, to your point, because you're a very big strategist, there's a lot of stuff that you want to map out so that way your hours are accounted for.
Well, and the thing is, I feel that that's a common thing, that so many companies just say, well, we got to be there. We got to be seen, just go. And they'll send
With
the people.
Zero plan.
Zero plan. Yeah. Where it's like, well, what am I doing here? What, that's time away from the office, time away from clients, prospecting, all those things where there's no game plan. And it's kind of almost, sometimes some employees use it to a benefit of just like, I get to be out of the office for the day instead of
Yeah.
coming up with a great strategic plan. And that's where I think for you and we've always just kind of connected because we love to think differently and outside the box. And how are you going to connect with people? And so I love the concept that you're going places for other people
Mhm.
and you're networking for them,
Yes.
which isn't common.
No, it is a need that I found when I first started. I found out that there were very high profile people or people who ran their own businesses, who had the teams, the sales teams, and they were good at closing, but they weren't good at the beginning part, which was the networking component. And most of it's funny enough, I actually did a whole audit of my clients a couple days ago. I was like, I wonder, every single one was an introvert. Every single one. And I just love that so much because it reminds me of growing up and having all of my best friends are introverts. My partner is an introvert. My boyfriend's an introvert. Like, I just love elevating them as much as possible and maybe being their voice at times when they don't feel like they can stand up for themselves, because when I was a kid, I didn't have a voice. And it just kind of, the joy and the excitement of being able to do that elevates in more of a professional manner, strategic way, because it gives me the same joy being able to get them a couple meetings to saying that you should work with this company because of how cool this person is. And the benefit of going to events on behalf of clients is I get to pick my clients. I get to vet my clients. And if I don't vibe well with them, I'm not going to work with you because I'm not going to present you in the way that I feel like is necessary.
And I just love that too, because we're kind of very similar where we grew up like that. I was a very shy girl. My sister would talk for me. My parents would, to the point of even too, I'm sitting in the principal's office because I had such anxiety at times to talk in class and, be there. And so I feel like, we all have a story. We all have a journey. And the point too is that I love that you're kind of like that shining light for those introverts out there that are amazing, and the clients that you're working with, like you're promoting them. And that's what networking is about sometimes too, where some people have the wrong interpretation of what networking really is.
They think it's transactional. They think that they have to peacock it when they go in the room. You're playing chess, not checkers here. And so
Yeah.
when you're at these events, there are plenty of, let's say, for example, plenty of competition, right? Or competitors. There's enough business for everybody. Let's be real about that. And everyone's going to match up differently. But I think if you are going into an environment where everything is very stimulating, you have to, I'm not speaking for you, I'm speaking for myself here, but what I try to do is make sure that my path is written out, but my journey is flexible. Let me explain what that means. So I have a guideline plan of what to do, like where I want to be, not where I need to be, where I want to be. And then I leave it up to Jesus to be able to go anywhere else. Jesus, take the wheel here, because I don't know. But I'm not very religious, but I always like saying that when I'm like, I don't know, it's up to Jesus. And and so, you have to be flexible. Maybe you meet somebody that you can get you to the person that you're looking to get to, and you want to say, can I grab a cup of coffee with you? And removing yourself from the environment to be able to do those things. So the guidelines are set up, but the journey is opened to take whatever path you need to.
So tell me a little bit more of the origin of why you decided to kind of go this route,
This route?
instead of like, because it's out of the norm. You don't hear this too often. So tell me
Yeah.
more. And
It,
like,
I appreciate you asking that. So I believe, and I've been told that I believe I'm the only person that does this part of my business specifically, where I attend, I'm boots on the ground. And this came from a need that I learned about years ago. I started, here's how it happened. I had 23 jobs after I graduated college. I think you and I talked about this. And I had mergers, acquisitions, and budget cuts. And like, I was the first one in, last one out. Maybe I was a personal assistant to a couple of celebrities in New York. So like, I started my career just with pure fear, terror, anxiety of just trying to work myself to the bone, and then it's still not being enough. Like, again, never got fired. It was things that were out of my control. So I would work long hours. I would get sick. And like, I just had a very bad taste in my mouth working for everyone else and not feeling like I had any value in the world. And it got to the point where I was working and I was selling custom software. And I woke up one day and I was in a miserable marriage. And like, there was so much that was going into a lot of where I was at the time. And I would not change it for the world. Everything happened. And it got to the point where I was like, how the hell did I go from working for a couple celebrities to selling custom software? Like, what do I even like to do? And it got to the point where I looked at all of those experiences and said, what is common with all those things? Well, I can talk intelligently about those industries. I was in them for a long period of time, or it was for a short amount of time, for 8 to 10 months. So I can talk intelligently about different industries, or I can reference a couple different industries. Well, what do I enjoy doing? I enjoy helping people. Okay, everyone enjoys helping people, but like at what capacity? So I went to a networking event after I left that last job. First time, I didn't have a job lined up. I was like, I need a break. I need a week, I need a nap. Like, I just need to regroup. And I went to a networking event, and this was the Phillies game. It was a tailgate at the Phillies game. Ted Hasbacher. I'm going to run his name out every day of the week. He's the best. And he invited me to go. And it was the first time I didn't have a job. So I didn't have anything to talk about at that time. I just was me. And so I walked around and I asked everybody, all right, what does everybody here have in common? They're networking. All right, well, and I was watching Scandal at the time. I'm like, she's a fixer. Let me see how I can fix a problem here. And I asked everybody, what sucks for you about networking? What sucks? I hate going to events by myself. I hate following up. I hate going, I hate finding events. It's like, okay, I can fix all those problems. I can follow up. I was an executive assistant. I do all these things. And somebody came over and overheard me kind of putting together just an semblance of service offerings. Like, I was duct taped together. And he comes over and he goes, hey, would you ever network for somebody at a book signing? And I said, sure. He goes, all right, give me a call in 2 weeks and like, we'll set something up. It's like, okay. So in 2 weeks, this broad had website, headshots, master services agreement, liability insurance, and LLC, and literally everything I could put together in 2 weeks off of coffee and the will of Jesus. And it worked. And so the next day, and again, duct taped together. This was bad. It was enough to be like, oh, I've got a header and a footer and things like that. But it was the first time in my adult career that I ever felt like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't have to ask for anybody's permission. I didn't have anybody to ask to approve these choices I just made. And it was the first time in my entire adult professional career I didn't ask for permission. And it was just elevating in the way that I viewed the world. I'm like, this is interesting. And so I became addicted to it. And so I went to that event. It was 4 hours away. I worked with him for 2 hours. I networked on his behalf, drove 4 hours back. I think I charged him like $20 an hour. It was like nothing, but I didn't even charge him for travel. I was just like, I just want to be here. Yeah. And so the next day I gave him all of the follow-ups, and he just sent me this beautiful testimonial, and then the world opened up. And so with that one person who saw value in me when I was at my lowest, it became, oh, I'm enough for the right person. And so he hired me for a couple conferences after that. And the number one client that I have now, that I'm working with now, was a referral from him that has changed my life. So this man will never appreciate how much I love him. If you're out there, Marty, good God. I have another Matt I'm talking to 5 minutes before. Marty McDonald from Bad Rhino. I will talk about him all day long. I owe him my life. And so when that stuff happens, you think about the networking is so much more to me than just how can I make a good connection? How can I elevate my status? It's more of how can you potentially save my life? Like, at what point can I help you in a way to help say, like, I'm always trying to give back in that way. So I think of it more as an army, people who would advocate for you when you're not in the room. They will fight for you when you're not in the room, but you got to fight for them tenfold before you can even expect them to fight for you. So that's kind of how I frame out networking. That's a lot of words. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I love that. And that's where I just love too, that you found this from just going into a place, being you, asking questions,
Yeah.
seeing what the problem was and creating something. And I think that's the part for, hopefully the listeners are getting inspired that there doesn't always have to be this cookie cutter way of doing things,
Yeah.
that think outside the box and look at that. Look how much you are helping a business grow, or to how important it is to build relationships, because that was how many years ago to now even where you are.
Networking saved my life. Like
Yeah.
I can put it on the wall and show you how it saved my life. How these people that I have the privilege of working with and connecting with and having really deep, meaningful relationships with, how they saved my life. And if you build a network that won't let you fail, you take more risks. You have more confidence. You do more things. You say yes to more things that you don't think you're ready for, because you know you have the support of people who are going to be in your corner. And it just changes your whole perspective on what you're capable of doing, what life you want to live, and the kind of people that bring you joy. You don't get that working for somebody else half the time. Most of the time. I never got that from working with somebody else. And it's just, you are enough for the right person. That's the moral of that story there.
And I would say, what keeps motivating you? Because right now too, you're traveling a lot.
Money motivates me. No. My dog motivate me. My life that I
Oh.
have, that I live right now, the wall that can I tell you, I'm such a simple, I truly am just a simple human. The things that bring me joy and what motivates me is it doesn't change every week, but I don't look 5 years into the future. That's the one thing I think most people are like, how do you not do that? I said, I have to be flexible for things to come my way that are going to derail that option that turn into a better result. I painted a wall. I didn't even paint a wall. I paid a guy to paint a wall in my home, and I have never felt more grounded in my life than when my wall was painted, because it didn't feel like a rental anymore. It felt like a home. And now I feel proud of this home that I have, this life that I built, where I was 6 years ago, and again, I do not regret my marriage. I think it was exactly what I needed at the time, but I felt like I had no value. A painted wall motivates me to paint wall. Like, there's enough, the amount of freedom that I have and joy that comes every day of coming home from, let's say, a 4 or 5 day stint at a conference and coming home to 2 happy dogs, a happy boyfriend, a sandwich on the table, and just a complete decompress where I can feel safe. That's what motivates me. And that I will do the most for, to hang on to that feeling. And that may come in different pieces and different aspects and different moments, but that feeling of peace is what motivates me. And when I have the privilege of working with these people and these clients, and to see that one tweak that I've made in their process gives them joy, that will last me years of positive energy. And it takes just a little bit. And I feel like I've not only done my job, but I'm doing what I was meant to do. I just happen to be talking about networking.
Well, and I think that's the thing too, of just being present. And right there is really, what are we all striving for? Peace and joy and happiness. And I love that you're talking about just the simple things in life and being present. And two, you're not looking too far ahead. And I don't know if you're similar to me, but goal planning has always been a very big challenge for me, because I don't want to think that far ahead.
No.
And I don't want to upset myself when things evolve and things change, or two, I feel like, oh, I didn't accomplish that, so I must not be good enough. Instead of thinking like, look how far I've come. Look at the things that I just leaped over, and was celebrating those little moments in life. Like, I even think of like you talking about the painting of the room. That's a celebration, those little simple things. And so I think that's where you and I have just always had this weird instant connection, where I feel like sometimes we've been friends for years, and we can pick up where we're from, and we're like where we left off at, even though we've only chatted a few times. But I feel like too, we come with a different perspective than some people have.
I think we lead with kindness, and some people lead with their guard up. But I think the people that lead with kindness are the ones that got hurt the most. And you can see that immediately in someone's face, or you can, and with networking, you are in our intuition. And I'm sure there's a little bit of neurodivergency that you have. And like there's a lot that I know that I have, I'm learning about that recently. And being able to pick on certain emotions quickly allows us to bring our guard down because we can see something past what most people can see. And we know that faster than most people. So that allows us to then be able to relate to certain people quicker and faster and feel in a good space because of the abundance of people that we meet. So as soon as we get the same feeling of somebody, who's kindred spirits, is the same amount of feeling that we get when we meet somebody that we can't really explain why we don't like them, or we can't really explain why it doesn't give us a good feeling, but we're always right. We're always right. And it always happens that way. So I think that I give the same amount of wonderful attention to people that I can have conversations with this to the people that I'm like, I will never walk down an alley with you. Like there's no reason that I would ever spend my time or my energy if you're not going to provide something similar. And I'm easy.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like too, so since I've taken the entrepreneurship leap, I feel like
which is so exciting, by the way. I just want to make
so
sure everyone on this podcast knows that like that, you and I had such a wonderful conversation and I'm so excited for you and I'm in your corner and I'm part of your army and I'm excited. So go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I appreciate that. You're so sweet. And that's where I feel like too, now that I'm finally like in the zone of Dawn and showing up as her authentic self, I am recognizing more of those traits, how you were just saying, our intuition and our gut and our feelings. And now I'm even recognizing too, that people open up to us easily because we have that like safe zone for them. And so that's the one thing I've even noticed with like a client or two that I didn't realize, I thought something maybe was a little off, but sometimes some of them are so anxious when it comes to networking or talking with other people that now we've become like their safe space for them, which I didn't always recognize that until now that I'm in my own zone, if that makes sense.
Well, because you're allowing people feel safe with you. That's the big. So here's a superpower that I really you also have is that people will feel very safe with you very quickly. So please be prepared for the very awkward stories that they will tell you before you even ask them these questions. I cannot tell you how many people at a bar that I know the darkest secrets because I met them with kindness. And it's just, it's a blessing and sometimes a curse because either you disassociate and say, okay, great, thank you, have a great day, or you take it in and try to help them fix it. So it took me a bit to be able to balance the two, because that can be a lot of emotional bandwidth that it needs to be saved for people that you trust. And sometimes it can be a little bit soul sucking. Not in a bad way, just like all of your energy is out, like you're done. Like you need a nap. So
you do need a nap. Yeah. Well, I would say I could talk to you all day. And so this is the one thing that I love your energy. And what is maybe one last piece of advice that you would say to our listeners here when it comes to networking?
If you learned anything from Dawn is that just do it. I feel like a Nike commercial, but like if you listen to Dawn's podcast, you can see her journey. Her journey is very similar to my journey. And I think you can find calm and peace and solace and knowledge from Dawn and what she talks about. And I think that because you and I are at different stages of what everything is possible, like look at Dawn, she's in the beginning stages. Look at me, I'm in the middle stages. Like I'm not an expert. I don't have the hours yet and I'll get there. And you can see both ends of the spectrum and we're here, we're doing it. But remember, you are enough for the right people. So don't feel like at 23 jobs after graduation, you had a bunch of jobs with toxicity. Like we got out, we jailbirds here and we're thriving because of it. So if you learn anything, listen to your gut and look at these two broads who figured it out, who are still figuring it out.
Yeah.
Trying to understand their coffee intake, which is never a good thing for anybody, and making it work. So that's my advice.
Well, Jesus, such great advice.
Microphones.
And I would say I appreciate you for being on the show, for connecting with me and to keep in touch. And this is where too, it's you keep shining bright because your energy is just magnetic. And so I appreciate you joining me today on the show.
Thank you for having me, Dawn. You're crushing it. I'm so excited for you. Get on her podcast. She does a great job and it's the best way to build connection. So congratulations on this podcast.
Thank you so much, my dear.